Munajua, hebu tupunguziwe sauti ya speaker ya studio, niache kukuwa na auto tune. All right, there we go. Almost got it. The other direction. There we go. Ah, good. Inaitwa live TV. You run with it. Venye inakuja ndio unaipeleka. Good morning, Kenya is still the program. In case you are just joining us, welcome to the party. We are glad that you have chosen to continue on with us here and start your morning with us here. The hashtag is Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. Our official station handle ever remains to be at KBC Channel 1. My handle is at Jain Wambui. Thank you so much to those of you that have already tuned in. Nitakuwa ninawatumia salamu in and not too long, but we want to move on to the next segment. Remember, this is Entertainment Thursday, and we also get to have our lifestyle segments right here, or during this particular program on Thursdays. And today's going to be a mix of both, because the guest that we have, akona mguu moja huku, akona mguu moja huku, akona mguu moja kule, na hii pande ingine yote. This is Gilad Milo with us in studio today. Good morning.
Good morning, Kenya.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Thank you so much for making time. We were on a different set. Umerudi ukapata?
Yes.
Mambo imebadilika?
It's nice. It looks really nice.
It looks nice, eh?
We're happy.
Good stuff. Now, I know you get very different variations of your name. Gilad. Gilad is the correct way.
Gerald one.
See Gerald. See Gilad.
It's Gilad.
Gilad.
Yes.
There's your camera. Say hi to our viewers. Give us your social media handles.
Hope everybody's having a good morning.
Social handles?
Oh, social handles. At Gilad Milo, 1 L in Gilad, 2 L's in Milo. On Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, ni Gilad Life Kama Maisha. On YouTube, it's Gilad. On LinkedIn, it's Gilad Milo. On TikTok, it's Gilad Kenya. What else is left?
Keep up to Gilad, utapata. Whichever platform.
Google Gilad.
Hey, Google him. Iko sawa. Now, we just played a track that you put out 6 years ago.
2015.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I asked you this off air, but for the benefit of our viewers, you know, just seeing yourself there 6 years back and you're here now, how does that feel?
You know, I mean, Unajua is like that song that's forever gonna go
timeless.
With me. It doesn't matter what I do. People will see me in the street. Sema aje, you know, the lyrics from the song.
That's what they say when they meet you?
People, so many words, you know, Sema, everywhere's Sema, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll get to a place and the askari at the gate will be like, Baskeli wapi? You know, you know, stuff like that.
Like you're expected really, to have it everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, people really associated and connected with the song, the video, the lyrics, everything about it. So, you know, it's timeless. Like I said, you know, I'm not sure I would have worn that shirt again if I was making the video today. But I mean, I even have people tagging me when they see that shirt in the store.
Yeah.
They like tag me, I found the Unajua shirt, you know? So it really, everything about that video literally became famous,
you know? From the bike, but you look totally different. You have morphed, you know, but at least the voice is still the same.
Yes.
The voice stands still and cuts through time. And, you know, you were just telling me a bit about, you know, how the younger generation reacts to your music from what you see on the socials. Has that, you know, does that reassure you or reaffirm your, you know, journey in music in any way? It's
just, first of all, I mean, any artist puts out music and, you know, and is happy to get kind of recognition or people enjoy it or like it. Not so much the recognition, but more, you know, when you see people vibing to your music, you know, that's the best thing in the world, right?
Yes.
So when you see that that's kind of gone to another generation and you see kids who, somebody posted on YouTube, I was 14 when this song came out and I'm 20 now and I'm still listening to it and I refound it on YouTube. And you see all these comments on the YouTube channel, which are like, you know, I've never heard this before. Or, you know, I was telling you there was a TikTok video with, because there was a TikTok challenge, Unaendelea Aje challenge, which got like 6 million, you know, views on TikTok. And Unajua came out before TikTok existed, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and so this police officer lady did the duet with me on TikTok, and I shared it on my Facebook, and it got to almost 1 million views on my Facebook. And people are commenting, and a lot of guys were commenting, what's the name of this song? I want to find it. so okay, a lot of people are saying, how do you not know? But on the other hand, not everybody knows, and people were younger, and it's really cool to see people rediscovering.
Yes.
You know, somebody posted, I just discovered this song. And it's not just unajua, sema milele, rangi ya bahari, na kuahidi. People are really discovering, kind of rediscovering my music, which is, it's great fun.
And you know, just looking at that song is called Unajua, not Sema or...
No. But there's so many names.
So many titles, yes. But whatever rocks your boat. But the official name of the song is Unajua. Good stuff. So, you know, there's so much to you. You are an artist, you are a farmer, you are in the PR sector. You do so many things. But we want to take a step back. Tuone ilianzia wapi yote. What kind of a kid were you when you're growing up?
Bit of a clown, you know. Yeah, I mean, spunky, I wouldn't say troublemaker, but I got into my share of trouble. But yeah, I mean, we moved around a lot because my dad was a diplomat. My dad was an Israeli ambassador. And of course, he had like a 37-year career. So we moved. I mean, I was born while we were in Israel, but while we were serving in Germany. And then we're talking about 50 years ago. I just turned 50. So,
Yay! Happy birthday. So when was your birthday?
September. Just 2 months ago.
Happy belated.
Thank you. So yeah, so I mean, I grew up in Germany, then Israel, Jerusalem, then London, then New York, then Jerusalem again, then Turkey. Then came back and went to the army, which is mandatory for Israelis.
And how was that experience for you? You know, given it's something that, did you know you have to go through it, or you came to find out, you know, given
I mean, every Israeli has to go to the army at 18. Right now, my 2 children, my son is a paratrooper in the Israeli army, serving in Gaza, and now in the north. My daughter goes in 22nd of December. She literally got her assignment yesterday. She's going to be a combat medic. And now both of them grew up in Kenya all their lives. So they made a choice to go back to Israel. They didn't have to because they had been here so many years. But they made a choice. They said, you know, we also want to be Israelis. And so they both went to Israel. They're there on their own, serving, you know, he's already a sergeant, been in the army almost 2 years.
And it's a mandatory 3 years.
3 years for men, 2 years for women. And she's about to start. For me, I mean, I remember my army service fondly. I met my wife in the army. We served on the same base. And, you know, we've been together since then. That's 29 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, more than half my life.
And you were also part of the diplomatic line. Was it as a result of, you know, being in the army or influence from your father in any way?
My father. I mean, I always wanted to be like my dad. Many people are like that. So when at a young age,
having decided
in 1996, I came here backpacking with my then girlfriend. I proposed when we got back here and got married a year after, when we got back from Kenya. And then I had a band for about 3 years in Jerusalem called the White Donkey.
White Donkey. I was looking for that
And White Donkey is not like white kama mzungu. It's white based on the Messiah will come in ridden on a white donkey. That's what the
that
Bible
was the
says,
meaning behind the name that you guys had.
We were a Jerusalem rock band. So it was very religious text, political text. We were revolutionaries, you know, for a long time in Israel. We had a statement, you know. When you're in your 20s, you know, that's what you do. And then at one point when my son was born, my wife was like, okay, this isn't bringing in anything, you know, we also have to, you know, to look at a job. So I kind of cut my hair, I had long hair back then, took out my earrings, and went for an interview at Channel 2 News in Israel. And I got the job. So I was working at the foreign desk there for 3 years, covered 9/11, Afghanistan. And then at one point I got accepted to the foreign ministry on my second try. And yeah, I mean,
that's where your diplomatic
the dream of being
started.
A diplomat, you know. And right when I think I was about a year in the ministry, I'd finished the cadet course, and about a year into the ministry, the Kikambala attack happened in Mombasa, and Israel flew rescue planes, and so I was the spokesman for that rescue. My relationship with Kenya is like touch and go again and again. So I came here in 2002 as a spokesman for the team that came from Israel to take the Israelis home after the attack. Interviewed outside the Kikambala hotel for all the media. And 3 months later, I got appointed here as Deputy Naibu wa Balozi. And I was here for 2.5 years, served in the embassy. I keep going.
Keep going. It's a whole trip down, because we need to piece all these pieces of your life together.
I did that. I was here at the embassy. We loved it here. We were completely, by then we had backpacked here and traveled, so it wasn't like the first time, like most diplomats. And we were here, and then I got posted unexpectedly to Los Angeles. And you can't say no to like a job like that. So I went and I literally worked 3 years in Beverly Hills, Hollywood, experiencing the absolute different opposite side of the world from Kenya. Funnily enough, we missed Kenya a lot. LA is...
All through you were moving with your family?
Yeah, always. Okay. And the family was growing as we went. My son was... We came here to Kenya the first time. My son was 4, my daughter was 1 month. And then when we moved to LA, of course, together, the 4 of us.
Yes.
If Americans are watching, I apologize, but LA is very, you think flashy and glamour, but it's very plastic, and people are very kind of distant, and there's a lot of fake. We connected, we were okay, we had friends, but it was nothing like living here, and then completely unplanned at one point, the MD of Amiran, who had been my neighbor here in Nairobi, an Israeli, was visiting LA, and we met, and we got into this conversation, and from the point of view of the embassy as a donor, I criticized Amiran for only focusing on flower sector and not doing anything about small-scale farmers and development and food security, and he kind of challenged me to write a proposal, which I did, and then he hired me. And to
come and implement what you have proposed.
And to everybody's shock in Israel and government and family, being my father's son, I left the foreign ministry, and people thought I was nuts. Diplomat is a lifetime job, and it's a good
the guys
job.
Look forward to.
And so people thought I was crazy, but I was, my wife was the only person who needed to really agree.
Okay.
And we both wanted to come back, so came back and started work for Amiran.
And is that where, officially your interest in farming stemmed from, or it goes...
No, a little bit before, when I was here at the embassy. You remember the famous Kibwezi irrigation? I don't know if you remember, it was like years ago.
Yes.
Kibwezi irrigation project. So I was involved with that as work in the embassy. So I got to see agriculture, and Israel brings irrigation projects and stuff like that. So I was involved as the official ribbon cutter, from the embassy, speeches and stuff like that. But never really had my hands in the soil, never did it.
Yes.
And then when I got to Amiran, teamed up with some amazing people, and for about 6 or 7 years, we revolutionized. I mean, everybody remembers the small greenhouses, and Giuliani as the brand ambassador.
I remember the greenhouses. We used to live around those areas, so we'd pass and see them.
That was our project. That was my baby, all the small-scale farmers. Today, if you Google or you ask and you look to find small-scale companies who sell drip irrigation to small-scale farmers or fertilizers or seeds, you'll find hundreds in Kenya. At that time, there was one. There was only us. We were the only ones doing it, and we started something. I remember doing interviews even here at KBC back in the day.
Yes.
As the Amiran spokesman, I was in charge of PR and business development administration, and predicting that this would cause a ripple effect through the market. And sure enough, I mean, Amiran sold tens of thousands of greenhouses, drip irrigation for small-scale farmers. And we literally, I mean, the project with the Red Cross, which bought the farmer's kit, which was this all-inclusive kit, to 1,000 schools in Kenya, a project with the youth polytechnics across the country with Ministry of Education, partnerships with USAID, Oxfam, you name it. I mean, every NGO of name back in the day had a farmer's kit project because it was real. People were seeing immediate results.
It was changing
Farmers
lives.
were making money. It worked. And today, a large degree of what you see in the Kenyan agriculture sector, small scale today, is a result of what we did back in those years.
Now, looking also the past space between now and when you were in Amiran, that is the time you've also seen your music grow alongside your farming side of the divide. Did you have to step away from, Amiran in order to pursue music fully, or you were doing both of them, juggling both of them?
I believe that God and life gives you what you need in order to grow.
Yes.
So when it's time, life will kick you this way or kick you that way. Whether it's good or bad, painful or not at the time, it just happens, you know? I released Unajua with Wendy. I mean, Wendy and I had been singing with Calabash Band for about 3 or 4 years when I wrote Unajua and invited Wendy to do the collab. And that was still in 2014.
Yes.
When I was working for Amiran, released the song in 2015. And of course, when it released and hit, everybody in the company was really proud of me. Like I would meet, you know, I'd meet staff. I was head of administration, you know, I'd meet staff in the hallways and guys would be like, Unaju, you know, and it was all so fresh. But at that point, there was never any plan to go full-time musician. Because I was a corporate executive, suit and tie, you know, already 44 years old. I thought, because I had done my music, you know, my attempt at a musician 20 years earlier. Yeah, I kind of did that, you know, went on. But I did release the second song, Sema Milele, kind of to prove to myself, I wanted to prove I'm not a one-hit wonder, you know, I can do another one. So Sema Milele, and then Rangia Bahari, and then Nakuahidi with Dela. And by that time, I was still working at Amiran, but I was being recognized everywhere. Dela and I won Pulse Music Video Awards for Best Duet. And Wahoo, who had been my idol in the time, was like the one presenting the award. And here I am mixing with all the celebs and all of that and kind of walking red carpets and more and more and more. And people, and then I came up with Gilad Live, which was this huge show at the race course. I don't think any single Kenyan artist has ever done that size of show since then. It was massive, it was corporate, it was red car. I hosted Sauti Sol, Giuliani, Wendy Kimani, Dela, Heart the Band, Eric Wainaina, and I collabed with each of them on stage, their own song. So I sang, you know, Daima Kenya with Eric Wainaina, which is like legendary, right?
Yes.
So I mean, and it was a huge, huge show in terms of the corporate sponsorships presence, and it was all for charity. It was all for empowering through music. And the donations that we got went to drip irrigation systems for youth groups in Dagoretti.
So it was still intertwined with what you were doing on the corporate side.
I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was believing my own, you know, my own story at Amiran. So when I had, you know, money to raise, I went and bought from Amiran. Got a discount, but still bought from Amiran. And then we did this project. I had at the time an NGO called Israel for Africa that we had created with my wife in memory of my dad. And though he had never been to Africa, but I think he would have, you know, liked that kind of thing. And so we raised the money under Israel for Africa to do these greenhouse projects and drip projects for youth groups in Dagoretti to prove a point that you can even do it in the slum and the ghetto, and you know, and still make money farming. And you know, so using the music to do that, and I kind of always connected the music and the agriculture, even choosing Giuliani as our brand ambassador. That was my idea. And he and I later, I featured him in the title song of my first album, Asante. So, you know, music and agriculture kind of goes together.
All right. Okay, so let's fast forward and come to this space that we are in right now. You know, you are farming garlic. Why garlic?
It's a really interesting crop. I mean, I've done tomatoes, I've done capsicums, done a lot of stuff over the years in farming and during the years with Amiran. Just before Corona, about 2 years ago, I met an Ethiopian who today is one of my best friends and my partner, and he is an expert, comes from garlic farming. And he said, you know, we met and he said, you know, I want to start a project in farming, I want to do garlic. And, you know, and I just said, you know, let's do it just for fun, because the shows were about, you know, you can see the shows were stopping and music was stopping and everybody was kind of locked down. So we went and found a plot in Kajiado, and it's near Isinya. And the area is so beautiful and it's so chill. And it's like, you know, birds chirping and quiet in the background. Hey, Gilad. Completely, I mean, you know, as opposed to, you know, this big city, and as opposed to being locked in the house, everybody hiding away from Corona, we were, you know, 5 a.m.ing it every morning out to Isinya, out there by 6:30, and it took us about a month and a half to create the farm. We've done quite a few seasons since. Today it's become a training farm because we've developed, you know, that's kind of the personality also. We developed into working with farmers, so we provide the farmers with quality seeds there's a problem in the market. Guys are selling cheap seeds.
And
People are kind of cheating each other, you know?
Look at the loopholes that are out there, because, you know, looking at Kenya, agriculture is one of the principal sectors of our economy.
For sure.
And given that, you know, you also had to experience it to know such potential that it had back from your background, getting to where you are today. We want to look at what it took for you to be able to, you know, set up the farm. For our young viewers today, you know, we have guys who are setting up balcony gardens in your backyard, but, you know, you went large scale.
You know,
and
no,
that was a risk.
by the way, we're not so large. The whole farm is like 4 acres.
Okay, hold it there at 4 acres. My director says we need to take a very quick breather. We'll be back to continue. So questions that we have for Gilad, comments, or you're just seeking clarifications, bring them. After the break, we address them. Stay with us.